Okay, Math 7. We're talking about word problems when it comes to solving equations. And they can be difficult because the language can be hard. But I think if you pay close attention, you will be able to do this just fine. So what value of n makes the sum of n and 25 equal to negative 18? So we first want to figure out what is it that they want us to do. And that's a sum, which tells us to add. And then we're doing the sum of n and 25. And then equal to negative 18. So we're just writing the problems down for now. We may eventually solve them, but for now we're just writing the equations. Number 2, what value of y makes the difference of 30 and y equal to 12? So here we're talking difference, which tells me to subtract. And we're doing the difference of 30 and y. And when is that equal to 12? Number 3, Dylan lived 2 years longer than his brother Elijah. Elijah was 79 at the time of his death. Write and solve an addition equation to find Dylan's age at the time of his death. So what I know is that Elijah lived and Dylan lived 2 years longer. I also know that Elijah was 79 when he died. So if I fill in this E, take it away, and put a 79 in there, I have found my equation. Alright, on the next one. Two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. Angles A and B are supplementary, so A plus B, because it says two angles are supplementary if their sum is 180. So A plus B equals 180. If the measure of angle A is 78 degrees, I can get rid of A here and fill that in with a 78. Write and solve an equation to find the measure of angle B. And there we have it. After the temperature had risen 12 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature was 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Write and solve an addition equation to find the starting temperature. So we don't know what the temperature was to begin with, so I'm going to call that X. And then the problem tells us that the temperature had risen 12 degrees. So that tells me we added 12 degrees. And the temperature is now only 7 degrees. So we must have started out in the negatives. But there's my equation. Number 6, the lowest point in Louisiana is 543 feet lower than the highest point in Louisiana. The elevation of the lowest point is negative 8 feet. Write and solve a subtraction equation to find the elevation of the highest point in Louisiana. So the lowest point is 543 feet lower than the highest point. So the highest point minus 543 feet equals the lowest point. And then the problem tells us that the lowest point is at negative 8. So I can fill that in, and there's my equation. Number 7, a company has a profit of $750 this week. The profit is $900 more than the profit P last week. Which equation can be used to find P? So if the profit is $900 more than last week, the profit plus $750 has to be $900. No, that's wrong. The company has a profit of $750 this week. The profit is $900 more than last week. So this week it was $750, and that was $900 more than the profit from last week. So our equation has to be B. So don't be tricked. Be really careful. I was almost tricked on that one as well. That one was really difficult. You have to... It might be better if when you have multiple choice, you write out exactly what you think it would be, and then see if there's a matching multiple choice for you, rather than just looking at each of the multiple choice options and kind of guessing. Which is what I did the first time, and was not a good option, because I would have gotten it wrong. Alright, take a look at the next page. A triangle has a perimeter of 12 centimeters. One side is 5 centimeters, another side is 3 centimeters. What is the length of the third side? So we know that to find perimeter, we do side plus side plus side. And in this case we have a triangle. And we can fill in what we know. So we know the perimeter is 12. We know that one side is 5 and another side is 3. And we don't know the third side. Alright. Take a look at number 9. Chris earns $9 per hour for helping his grandmother with her yard work. Write and solve a multiplication equation to find how many hours he must help his grandmother in order to earn $54. So he earns $9 per hour, and we want to know, when does he have $54? And we can see that it would be after 6 hours, but we're just writing the equation right now. Chocolate bars are on sale for 50 cents each. Hyde paid $5 for chocolate bars. Write and solve a multiplication equation to find how many bars he bought. So if he paid 50 cents for each chocolate bar, and he spent $5, 0.50b equals $5 would solve our equation. Dominique jogs 3 miles each day. Write and solve a multiplication equation to find how many days it will take her to jog 57 miles. So Dominique jogs 3 miles per day. So she jogs 3 miles each day, and then we want to know how long will it take her to jog 57 miles. Number 12. On a trip, the Chandler family drove at an average rate of 62 miles per hour. So 62 miles in each hour. And we want to know how long it took them to drive 558 miles. Number 13 is extra tricky. The smallest robot can travel 20 inches per minute, so 20 inches per minute, through a pipe. Write and solve a multiplication equation to find how long it will take the robot to travel through 10 feet. Well, we know that it goes 20 inches, so we would need to change this to inches. And in 10 feet, how many inches would there be? Well, there's 12 inches in 1 foot, so 120 inches in 10 feet. And on 14, Tyler withdraws $40 from his checking account each day. So we're taking out 40 per day. Write and solve a multiplication equation to find how long it will take him to withdraw $680. Alright, on the next page, you can go ahead and try 15 and 16. On 17, we have two-step equations. So, on two-step equations, we have to watch out for the than rule. Our than tells us to switch whatever was in front to in back, and vice versa. So 8 less than 3 times a number is negative 23. I can write down is negative 23 right away. And then I know, because of the than, 3 times a number, we want that to come first. So that'd be 3n. And 8 less, minus 8. So 3n minus 8 equals negative 23. On 18, 13 is 7 more than twice a number. So we want to switch again. So we take this second part, twice a number, 7 more, would be plus 7. Alright, go ahead and try 19 through 22. Quotient means divide. Here again we have quotient. Don't forget the than rule. Make sure you're paying close attention to that. You can also try 25 through 27. And then number 4, example 4, number 1. Your class council needs $600 for the spring dance. With only $210 in their treasury, the council decides to raise the rest by selling donuts for a profit of $1.50 per dozen. How many dozen donuts will they need to sell? So we know it's $1.50 that we're making per dozen donuts. And we already have $210. And we need that to equal a total of $600. Similarly, a taxi ride costs $3.50 plus $2 for each mile traveled. So $2 per mile plus $3.50 for the taxi ride. If Jan pays $11.50 for the ride, how many miles did she travel? So it equals $11.50. Go ahead and finish that up for homework. Have a great night.